Welcome to the October 2022 Temecula Housing Market Report. It was a crazy month in the Temecula housing market last month. We hit a number that we have not hit since 2008, and I'm not talking about prices. But speaking of prices, you're going to be shocked when you see what happened with prices last month. We're going to talk about all of that and more. Let's go. Just a quick reminder, all the information that we're about to look at is for the city of Temecula only, and it is based on single family homes. It does not include information about condos, townhomes, or mobile homes. And the reason for this is that single family homes make up the overwhelming majority of sales in the city of Temecula, and in my opinion, give us the most accurate state of the market. So let's dig into it. All right, guys, like I told you, this is going to be a wild report. We're going to see some crazy numbers all the way throughout. And starting off right here with the very first stat that we look at, only 94 homes sold last month in Temecula. And that is the lowest since 2008, February 2008 to be exact. This one really caught me off guard, and we are going to dig into it a little bit here. Percentage-wise, we sold almost 50% fewer homes in the month of September this year compared to the month of September last year. And as far as month over month goes, we sold about 31% less homes in September than we did in August of this year. So when I first saw this low number of 94 for homes sold, I immediately thought, okay, is that because there were fewer homes available for sale? So we're going to take a look at that and see if that was the case. This chart shows us the number of active listings recorded at the end of each month. Just like all the other data that we're looking at, it's all end of month data, so we are comparing apples to apples. So as you'll see here, at the end of last month, there were 341 homes actively for sale. And if you go back and kind of look through this chart goes all the way back to 2008. And you can kind of see that that's not an abnormal number there. If you look at this chart, you'll see that a lot of the activity that takes place in this 300 to 400 range here. Obviously, there are exceptions. It got a little low during this period of time, a little high during this period of time. But for the most part, it kind of plays in that 300 to 400 range. So in my opinion, a shortage of available homes for sale is not the reason that we had such a low number of sales last month. All right, and if you think that's crazy, let's take a look at what happened with prices. All right, here's another curveball for you. With all the news that I'm sure you've been hearing about the market crashing everywhere, that did not happen in Temecula. At least not last month anyway. We were up 5% month over month. And interestingly enough, the median price in August of this year was the exact same median price that we had in September of last year. So technically, we're up 5% month over month and year over year because those are the same figures. Very interesting. So now you're probably wondering, what the heck is going on? How is this even possible? Everything's supposed to be going down. There is a really good explanation for this. If you remember back to our super low home sold number that we posted for last month, only 94, and of those 94 homes, a large portion of those homes happen to be very expensive, much more expensive than the median price. So that explains why we had that 5% jump in the median price from August to September. Do I think we're going to continue going in this direction? I certainly don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think we're going to see the market continue to trend up in price, and I don't think we're going to continue to post super low sales numbers like we did last month. Is it possible that it might happen again? Absolutely, but I don't think that's going to be the story over the next several months. I think we're going to see the number of homes sold go back up, and I think we're going to see the price go back down. But we will definitely be keeping our eye on all of these stats in the coming months, so be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. Here is another stat that might throw you off a little bit as well. And again, with this one, I have a perfectly good explanation as to why this is happening. So this shows us a comparison between what the asking price of the house is versus what the sales price of the house is. So I'm sure everybody remembers probably from 6 months to about the previous 2 years, people were paying way more money than what the house was listed for. In September of last year, that average happened to be 1% over asking price. So the house sold for 1% more than what it was listed for sale for. And in August of this year, that dropped a little over 1.5%. So the houses were on average selling for about 1.7% less than what they were listed for. And then in September, that number went down even further to 2.8%. So almost 3% under list price is what homes were selling for. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, how is that possible if prices went up 5% in 1 month? The explanation for that is that on average, people were paying about 2.8%, almost 3% less than what the house was listed for, regardless of price. And remember, as far as that huge price jump last month, we attributed that to the fact that there were very few homes sold, and a lot of those homes that were sold were more expensive homes. All right, let's talk about interest rates for a minute. Let's look at where we are now, where we were last year and last month, and then let's talk for a minute about what we can expect with interest rates going forward. At the moment, we are right around 6.7% for the 30-year fixed mortgage rate. And that was a really big jump month over month from August to September, almost 0.75%. And in case you missed it, at the last Fed meeting, which was right around a week ago or so, the Fed raised the Fed rate by 0.75%. And that 0.75% increase almost translated directly over to this 6.7% rate that we see now versus last month before that Fed meeting. And if we go back to September of 2021, you can see that the rate at that time was 3.1%. So year over year, we more than doubled the interest rate. So what's going to happen next with the interest rate? So I read several articles, including this one, where people were posing the question, what's going to happen with rates for the rest of the year? All of the articles that I read said very similar things. And that was that the Fed is basically planning to lift rates by another 1.25% before the year is over. So if that does in fact happen and mortgage rates mirror that increase, we could see rates right around 8% by the end of the year. And we had almost 0.75% in the mortgage rates. Another thing that we like to look at on a monthly basis is the average days on market. And that is how long it takes from the time a house is listed for sale to the time an offer is accepted. So we are seeing a pretty steady increase in this number month over month. And if we go back to September of last year, 2021, we've almost doubled the average days on market. This 30 days on market here is still a little on the low side compared to pre-pandemic levels, if you will, but it is working its way back up. And just a couple quick things to keep in mind if you are selling or buying, the average days on market now, like we just talked about, is up to 30. So that gives buyers a little bit more breathing room. It gives them a little bit more time to go out and look at houses, whereas several months or a year back, they would only have like 1 or 2 days to go look at a house and then it would be off the market. Now they have a little bit more time and they have a little bit more inventory to look at. If you're selling your house, keep in mind sales price to list price. We looked at that. Homes are selling for on average about 2.8% less than list price. So you need to, as a seller, be aware of that and realize that the market is becoming a little bit more competitive and you are not going to get 2, 3, 4, 5% more than what you list your home for like you could have if you listed it a year ago when people were paying $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 more than list price. That is no longer happening. We do these updates every month, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future updates. And if you have any questions at all, or need help with buying or selling a home in the Southern California area, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to help you anytime. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.